Yo, what is up? Welcome to NinjaGeek Games. This is CyberPet Quest, a 1 to 4 player campaign-based adventure game coming to Kickstarter soon. A future product of Skynet once said it could create cybernetic organisms of living tissue over metal endoskeleton, and this didn't end too well. However, Dead Alive Games have adapted this with a cozy addition of cybernetically enhanced pets. That's right, our furry felines and feathered avians have been modified with robotic parts and are suddenly becoming more aware. By this I mean they're beginning to understand humans far more than the words sit or stay, and can now even communicate with each other. This is a prototype version of the game, providing a few chapters of one story, and in this video I'll give an overview of the game and its mechanics, and I'll put a link to the campaign in the description. The game is set in 2050 in a world controlled by cybernetics. In this game you'll select a plucky character in the form of a cute pet and use limited actions to progress through a chapter that may include finding items and charms, interacting with the environment, or taking on the deadly Sims, with a C. Each chapter will provide you with a specific objective, perhaps some story elements and changes to the scenario. This is an asymmetric cooperative game where the pets work together using their special traits to achieve the goal. Let's take a look. Each player gets a standard hero board with areas to track energy, luck and health. This is a sneak token that will alter the cost of some actions that depends on whether you're holding the aggro token. Your main hero card shows the meeple you play as, a few more stats and the cost of all the actions and traits. These traits are generally special or passive abilities specific to your hero, but each cozy pet in the game has a unique card. We have a cat who is quick but poorly armoured, a pup with low dexterity but great in combat, a raccoon who can steal items, and a goose who is quite hardy. What's more, there are multiple levels of the hero cards that can be upgraded throughout the campaign, and each provides a more powerful trait ability. The game board is actually made up of various cards that sit together, making up a street, an alley, or in this case an apartment. At setup, the scenario may also ask you to place certain terrain cards that you can interact with, and the game comes with a small deck of items and charms that are represented by tokens on the map. There are also two types of die. One is used for combat, and the other three determine any bonuses you gain during your turn. This is the Deadly Sims board, which is the underside of the box lid. At setup, you'll place sim cards in these areas and each enemy will be represented by a little meeple. Once set up, you're ready for the adventure. You'll have an objective to meet, and in the first of the few chapters that I played, you have to locate some items before defeating the Sims and escaping the apartment. During your turn, you generate energy which could be boosted by a dice roll. This energy is then spent to carry out actions like move, locate items and attack the Sims. Turns alternate between players and the Sims, who will try to hinder your progress, and the game continues until the objective is met or your cute, furry little pets are knocked out. During your turn, you have a number of actions that you can take. You can move across the map, where you can then pick up items or interact with the environment. Items are identified by these cubes, and you then get to draw a card and store it above your board. These usually provide one-time effects like boosting your stats, preventing damage or allowing you to reroll dice. Interacting with the environment, which is also represented by cards such as a bookcase, requires you to turn the card and read the text. This sent me to some story interlude within the rules, letting me know what I found and how it can be of further use. These can even provide charms, which are special items that may be specific to your pet. They provide ongoing abilities and generally require a cost and sit beside your board. Your pet can also heal if their health gets low, and the cost of all these actions is indicated on their hero card. The currency of actions is energy, and at the start of your turn you're giving a default value of 4. But you also get to roll these dice that can boost the value or provide you with luck, which can be used to activate your charms. Spent energy is tracked here, and the cost of all actions is different for each hero in the game. The pets also have an impact action that provides damage to be used against the environment or applied to Sims to take them out, but this action can only be taken out once per turn. When the Sims activate, they will generally move towards a particular pet, deal damage and may have some special ability that affects the game in some way. Each Sim is represented by a coloured meeple matching the coloured box that the card sits in, and this is the stun track, which is basically their health. Every time they deal damage, your pet gets to dodge by rolling this special die. You'll need to roll these feather symbols to reduce the damage dealt, but each pet has a different requirement as to which side of the die can be activated. So far, actions seem fairly straightforward, but there is more to add. Depending on your hero, each action will cost you a different amount of energy, so they all feel different to play, and their impact action can only be taken once per turn, so you need to find the best time to use this. Also, turns alternate between players and sims, indicated by initiative cards. First you'll draw a pet card that shows which hero will activate, and then they'll take their turn. Then you draw a Sims initiative card that shows which colour meeple will activate, where you refer to its card on the enemy board. You then switch between drawing cards and activating heroes and Sims until the round is over. However, if you manage to stun an enemy Sim earlier, the meeple lays flat, and if you draw its initiative, you simply ignore its turn for the rest of the phase. At the start of your turn, you get to decide whether to sneak or not. If you decline, you claim the aggro token, which means you take your turn as normal, but will most likely be the target of sim attacks who deal extra damage to the token holder. However, you can decide to sneak, represented by this token. Here you're less likely to be targeted by the sims, have a better chance of preventing damage if attacked, and the healing action costs less energy. However, other actions like moving and claiming items are more costly, and you cannot use your special impact action, so can't attack the sims. I like this aggro mechanic. You need to carefully decide what actions to take, as they could be more costly and result in you being the target of attacks, so you need to claim it at the right time. The Sims difficulty level is selected at the start of the game by choosing a card that shows their speed, damage and stun value, so you can have a pleasant, easy game or a pretty tough ride. It's up to you. Charms are very helpful as they give you additional options for actions, but normally cost luck to use. Luck is gained anytime you roll a clover symbol on the dice, and all energy not spent on your turn is converted to luck for later use, which is pretty cool. Once you complete a chapter, you're given a briefing, perhaps some options on how to proceed, and then set up for the next part of the story that involves a complete change in the map layout. CyberPet Quest looks to be a simple but enjoyable narrative, and did include a branching story depending on the outcome of your scenario, so it's likely to have good replay value. It was a fairly light game, and obviously aimed at those who enjoy their cosy board games, but it was quite refreshing to play something this charming. I've seen that the finished product will contain a campaign of 11 chapters, bosses to fight, with the ability to level up both your charms and hero boards, expanding your play area with character development. I hope you found this video useful, as I wanted to provide you with an overview of the game. I'll put a link to the campaign in the description. This is NinjaGeek Games. Cheers.